I'm hushing the dog on the chain. I'm running up stones on the edge of the bank. Rally the troops for another refrain. I sing this softly to myself. I sing this softly to myself. I'm buried beneath the sand.
Hello my loves, what is up and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing well, having yourselves a good day. It feels so good to be sitting down and filming. I've missed you guys. I took a bit of a 2-week social media break, which was definitely needed. I really enjoyed it. It felt good, I'm not gonna lie, but feels even better to be back. I've definitely missed you guys and I'm so excited for today's video. One of my favorite videos of the year. We're gonna be doing my 2025 yearly reset. I think this is maybe my 4th or 5th year filming one of these videos. And it's just so cool to have like a documented evolution of my life and my career and my hopes, dreams, and desires. Like, just so fun to look back on, and these videos are really the blueprint for my monthly resets. I often refer back to my yearly reset whenever I'm setting my goals. And I'm really trying to focus on that this year, trying to implement a good goal setting system. So taking my annual goals, breaking them down into monthly goals, which I do well, but then taking those monthly goals, breaking them down further into weekly and then like daily habits that I can implement. Really just trying to work on that day-to-day stuff that will help me get further towards reaching those goals and accomplishing them. But honestly, 2024 was a bloody good year. I'm not gonna lie. Dare I say, it was one of the best years yet. That's not to say it didn't come without its challenges, obviously, but overall, like, blessed. I felt like this was the first year that everything came to fruition, everything that I've been working towards, especially over the last 2-3 years. All of those really low moments where I was just like questioning everything. I felt like everything made sense this year. There was so many times this year that I was able to look back on things that have happened in the past and be like, oh, that's why that happened. And yeah, I just feel so incredibly lucky for the year I've had. And if that hasn't been your year, I get it. If you haven't heard it from anyone else, I want you to hear it from me. I'm so proud of you for just making it through this year. That is an accomplishment within itself sometimes. And if you don't feel like looking back on 2024 or your 2024 goals, by all means don't. I will be, just because I find it helpful for me. And it's also just like interesting to see where I was at 12 months ago, what my priorities were back then. I make it sound like it was forever away. Honestly, like a year goes by so fast, but like so much can happen in a year. I'm definitely not the same girl I was 12 months ago, that's for sure. I personally like to look back, even if it's been a terrible year. I just find it helps a lot with setting my new goals. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go over my 2024 goals and see how we went with those. I'm not gonna dwell on it too much. Like if we didn't achieve those goals, it's fine. I know that I had a good year. And then we're gonna set our 2025 goals, nice fresh start, and then make our 2025 vision board, which is like my favorite part. So grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, glass of vino, whatever your beverage of choice is, and we are going to get straight into it. Going over my 2024 goals, I always break down my goals into personal, health and wellness, financial, business, and then like any home random kind of goals. Every month I sit down and set new goals and also go over my budget, which I won't be doing in this video. I'm going to save that for my financial reset, which will be up in a few days time. Otherwise this video will literally be an hour long. For my personal goals, I wanted to start a book club. We did not do that. I think we chose a book in January and then none of us finished it. So maybe in 2025, girls, if you're watching this. I wanted to have no phone for the first hour of the day. No, I did not do this. This one is more of like a daily habit rather than a yearly goal. I just don't think it's realistic to not touch your phone for the first hour of the day for 365 days straight, especially going from having a minor phone addiction in 2023 to like going cold turkey. So this is something I would like to implement, but more as a daily habit. I wanted to go on 2 date nights a month, one inside and one outside the house. I saw this concept on TikTok. We had a couple good months with this and it was actually so fun. It was a nice way to get creative, especially with the inside date nights. We did some really fun things. Like Nick did s'mores in the air fryer and then we watched Cheaper by the Dozen too, if you know that scene around the campfire. This has been one of my goals for maybe like 3 years straight. I wanted to read 25 books. I read 9, so not even close. We did try 1 new recipe a week though. We did also go to the US, had the best time, and we did start planning for a baby. I got pregnant last year, but I had a miscarriage in May. So thanks for the reminder. For my health and wellness goals, I wanted to become the healthiest slash best version of myself. This one feels so ambiguous. Like, what does that even mean? I feel like that's not even measurable in any kind of way. I guess it's more of like a vibe. And I don't think I feel like the healthiest or best version of myself right now, but I also wonder if I would ever feel that way. Like, I think as humans we're just like quite self-critical, and I know myself, like I'm always striving for more. Like, I know I could always be better. So not the best goal to set, but I think I know what I mean by that, and I don't think I'm there. I definitely think I've made some good steps towards becoming the best version of myself, but I could definitely do more. This one kind of goes hand in hand. I wanted to go to therapy this year. I have not started that, but I will in 2025. I have a lot to unpack. I wanted to create a morning routine I love. I did do that. Also wanted to create a nighttime routine I love. This one I definitely kind of struggle with. I just kind of like have dinner, maybe watch some TV, watch some YouTube, hang out with Nick, maybe go for an evening walk, and then like brush my teeth, do my skincare and go to bed. I don't kind of wind down really. I'm like on my phone until I set the alarm and like put it on my bedside table. I definitely want to improve on that in 2025. I did join a social sport or activity. I started pickleball this year and also reformer Pilates, which I'm obsessed with. Also kept up with our 20-minute daily tidies. Again, this one's more of like a daily habit, so I don't know why I set that as a goal. And I did Pilates 2 to 3 times a week. For my 2024 financial goals, I wanted to save $12,000 for our US trip. We did do that. We also paid off our car loan. I think our starting balance was $18,500. And we did that. We did that in, I want to say June maybe. So super happy with that. Consumer debt free. Also wanted to increase our emergency fund to $25,000. Did that. Invest every month. Also did that. I was really good about that. Even if it was like $50, $60. We didn't have 3 no or low spend months in 2024. I wonder if maybe 3 is a little ambitious, on the ambitious side. I think I did 1 in 2023. I don't think I had a single no spend month, but I did a couple of no spend weeks and I loved that. I think that's a nice approach and something that I want to carry forward in 2025. We'll talk more about that in a moment. And we also paid off $20,000 of our mortgage, $20,000 extra of our mortgage in 2024. I did do a mid-year reset, so some of these goals I went in and updated, and this was one of those that I wanted to focus on in the last 6 months of this year. Yeah, I'm really proud of us for doing that. It's just so cool to see the impact. Like $20,000, a lot of money, but knowing how much of an impact that $20,000 can have over the life of your loan, it's insane. I think it's taken us 2 years and 2 months off of the life of our loan and saved us over $104,000. So it's not just $20,000, like it's had such a big impact on our mortgage. For my business goals, I wanted to continue sharing our financial journey online. I think this time last year I was kind of in a weird headspace with my financial content, especially short form content, and I'm proud of myself for like owning it, showing up online, sharing our financial journey, even though our income has changed so much and it's definitely not the norm. It's never been about that. We now have a lot more wiggle room in our budget and we're able to achieve our financial goals a lot quicker than we were. It's never been about the amounts, it's about the money mindset, the habits, the process of budgeting and tracking your money. I will always budget and I will always track my money no matter how much I make or don't make. I think we have a bad case of tall poppy syndrome in Australia, and people are supportive until they're not, and until you're like too successful or you're making too much money, which is a shame. Not everyone. I have such a supportive audience that are like truly rooting for me, but unfortunately there are some that aren't. So I'm proud of myself for continuing to share. I did sign a long-term brand deal, which I'm really proud of. I did go on another brand trip. I actually went on 3 with Jetstar. We did the Cook Islands, Margaret River, and the Whitsundays. Anytime I get to work with Jetstar or just like any kind of brand trip is such a dream. I wanted to get headshots for like my media kit. I still haven't done that. So whoops. I did post on YouTube 1 to 2 times a week. I posted it on TikTok and Instagram 3 to 4 times a week. Was very consistent with that. We hit 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is like a huge goal of mine. I think this has been on my vision board for like 3 years, and 2024 was the year that I did it. We also hit 50K on Instagram and TikTok. And then I think in my mid-year reset, I set a new goal of 60,000 subscribers on YouTube because I'd already hit 50K. We haven't done that one, which is so fine. I think we're pretty close though, like maybe 1,000 away from 60,000, which is kind of crazy. And then also 75,000 followers on Instagram, which we've done. And then I had some house goals. We bought an outdoor set, literally one of the best purchases to come out of 2024. It really feels like we've unlocked a whole other room in our house. I also had on here to make over our wardrobe. Didn't do that. We did get a bar cart for our dining area. I also wanted floating shelves for our living room. I've actually decided against floating shelves, and also decorate my office, which I did. It's still not perfect, but it's like a lot better than it was. We have some artwork finally, and it's a lot more organized than it was. So those are all my goals for 2024. We set 37, we achieved 24, so 65%. Not bad. And just goes to show, achieving goals isn't everything. I feel like I had an incredible year, like best year of my life. I feel really successful. Did I achieve everything? No. And that's so okay. I wanted to quickly show you guys my 2024 vision board, because so much of the stuff, like the power in setting a vision board and manifestation, I know not everyone believes in it. They think it's absolute bollocks. But like, when I tell you guys, 90% of the stuff on here has come to fruition. There were some things on here that aren't like overly specific. They're more like vibes. But like this, for example, New York. I think I took an almost identical photo at Top of the Rock. This was like more of a business, kind of focusing on my social media work, which when I made this vision board 12 months ago, I had no idea that I was going to quit my job 2 months into the new year. But I feel like we made that happen. We've got our total income for the month. That was like a big goal, was to increase our income, and again, we achieved that. I actually had my best month ever in December. So really ending things on a high. Again, I'll go over this in my financial reset. We have like skincare. This kind of symbolizes slowing down, wellness, like looking after myself. I was definitely better with my skincare routine, I will say that. Socializing, trying more recipes. Consistency was my big word. Across the board, I feel like I was a lot more consistent. Reading, we know how that goes. I had some good months with it, but overall we didn't achieve our reading goal. Traveling, I've got like airplane tickets here, I've got the plane here. I did so much traveling, like way more than I expected. I think I worked out I was on 38, 39 planes, something crazy like that. I never would have foreseen that for myself. So that was super cool. As a former travel agent, I love travel. I feel so lucky that I'm now at a point in my life where I have the flexibility and I have the means to be able to say yes to opportunities or to make opportunities for myself. It's just such a cool aspect of this job. We have our emergency fund, $25,000. We achieved that. 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. We did that. More like beach walks, looking after myself, started reformer Pilates. I was so consistent with that. This quote I love, I'm so lucky. Everything works out for me. I always write this at the top of my to-do list or my notes app. Everything just works out for me. There's something about it that just is so confident, maybe bordering on like cocky, but just like confident and self-assured. Like everything just works out for me, the good and the bad. If something goes wrong or something doesn't go as I planned for, it's gonna work out. Like everything works out for me. There's just something about it. It's just so comforting. Less hustle, more balance. Definitely achieved that. Obviously got a photo of baby because we were kind of in the stages of like thinking about having kids. We all know how that goes. Home stuff, pretty cool to see. I think I want to be more specific with my vision board going into the new year. Not that this was a bad one. I think it just like created a nice vibe. But my 2025 one, I think I want to be a lot more intentional with the pictures that I choose. All right, let's go over my 2025 goals. These goals are quite fluid. I used to be so rigid with my goal setting, and I've just come to realize like, who knows what's gonna happen? Life is full of surprises. I have no idea what this year is gonna look like for me. So I'm setting these goals with the information that I have right now, but they can change. Again, I'm breaking them up into different areas of my life, and I'm using the Co-Plenty goal and habit tracker this year just to change things up. It's actually really cool. It has a yearly tracker, so you can see your top daily habits for 2025, the weekly goals you've completed. Obviously you've got your yearly goals, your yearly reflection, and then everything is broken down into a monthly tab as well with your daily habits. So if I tick these off, some nice graphs, which I appreciate. And the fact that it matches my budget spreadsheet, love. Then we've got our weekly goals, week 1, week 2, week 3, monthly goals, and then a monthly reflection. So I feel like this will be really handy for the monthly resets. And again, implementing that good goal setting system that I am determined to do in 2025. So for my personal goals this year, we're gonna read 25 books. I'm not even gonna say I want to, like I am going to read 25 books this year. I'm also gonna keep my screen time under 3 hours a day. This is quite extreme and it's not gonna happen overnight, but by the end of this year, I wanna have it down to 3 hours. I know not every day is gonna be perfect. At the end of the day, this is my full-time job. Like creating content is my full-time job. So I wanna keep it realistic. I think 3 hours a day like is a reasonable amount. At the moment, we're averaging like double that, and that's coming down from like less than what it was a couple months ago. And I find myself making excuses for my screen time and being like, oh, I'm just, you know, getting inspiration, trying to stay in the loop, you know, this is my job. No. Let's be so for real. You are just doom scrolling on TikTok. I can still reply to comments, I can still reply to DMs, I can still edit short form content on my phone, but I don't need to be constantly on social media. I need to switch off. So I have a couple of habits in mind that will help me achieve that one. I want to try one new bar or restaurant once a month. We are so lucky here in Adelaide. We have such a cool food scene. And I feel like we're really good about trying new cafes, but not really restaurants. If we do go out for dinner, we tend to go to the same places that we know and love. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think it's fun to kind of branch out, and I have a never-ending list of places that I want to try, so definitely want to make that a priority in 2025. Kind of going hand in hand with that, organize 2 date nights a month. Also want to plan a trip to Canada and the US again. We went in April last year and had the absolute best time. We did LA, Boston, New York, and San Francisco and loved it. That was Nick's first time going to America and he wants to go back. He actually mentioned a couple weeks ago, he was like, I would love to go back to New York, and I'm like, say less. So immediately hopped on Google Flights. It is in the works. I'm sure I'll talk more about it in a vlog soon, but yeah, a trip is in the works. We have some friends that live in Canada, so we'd love to go visit them. Next goal is to scrapbook more. Pretty self-explanatory. Say the compliment in my head. This one's kind of random, but there's so many times I think of something. I'm like, oh, I love that girl's hair, or like, that lady has such a warm smile. I think those things, but I don't say them out loud. And I know, like, anytime anyone has ever voiced those things to me, literally made my day. Like, I'm still thinking about those compliments 10 years later. And you just never know the impact your words can have. Just spread more kindness, more positivity. I feel like we need it. Also in 2025 is the year of giving back more. Like I said, I was incredibly blessed this year, especially financially. And so I want to find ways to give back, not even just in like monetarily, but with my time. Like, I have so much more flexibility with my schedule, so I would love to get into volunteering more and donating more. Next goal is to avoid negative reading, especially online. I think it's important to still be informed and still keep up with worldly events, but I think there sometimes comes a point where you just like need to cut it off or just take a bit of a break. So yeah, just like protecting my peace a little bit more online. I've definitely fallen into the trap this year of reading a lot of like celebrity gossip or like social media stuff. There's been so much happening in the social media world. I've been sent things about myself and it's such a rabbit hole and it's so easy to fall down, and it's not helpful. It's not healthy, but it's normal. Like, as humans, we are wired to find the negative in everything. It's like a self-preservation thing. And then last goal is to get pregnant, LOL. Yeah, not one that I can really control. Obviously, there are steps you can take, there are acts you can do. It's just not really in my control. So maybe this is a silly one to make. I'm finally at a point after our loss where I feel mentally, physically, and emotionally ready. I mean, if we don't achieve this goal, it's fine. We'll pretend like this conversation never happened. Moving on to my wellness goals, I want to be intentional with my morning and nighttime routine. I think intentional is going to be my word of 2025. I think last year it was consistency and balance, and this year it's all about intention and purpose, like doing things with purpose. Speaking of intention, next goal is to plan daily and tackle the most important task first thing. I think this is so vital for building that momentum and avoiding procrastination, truthfully. I actually got a new planner for 2025. I showed this in my last vlog. It's from Organized by Charlie, which is like a small business. I saw it on TikTok and thought, why not give her a whirl? I didn't have a planner last year and I kind of regret it. I missed writing those to-do lists and planning out my daily tasks. So this is my new one for 2025. She's nice and fresh. She also has some really cool little sections, like a 1-year savings challenge, little budget section, which is cool if you prefer pen and paper. I can write my ideal evening routine and morning routine and ways I can optimize it. There's also a little like 30 days of organization section, household cleaning schedule, some super cool things in here. Want to utilize this, time block, write to-do lists, and plan daily. I'm really good about looking at the overall picture, yearly, monthly, like my 5-year plan, my yearly goals, my monthly goals, but day to day, I'm not the best at, and then I just end up scatterbrained and confused. I also want to get back into my 10,000 steps a day. This used to be so much easier when I worked a 9 to 5. I would do so much walking in the office and like before and after work. Now I have to actually, think about it. Like, let's get up and get moving. Otherwise I could literally sit at my desk or on the couch all day. I also want to successfully complete the 75 soft challenge. I'm thinking of starting this in January. I know, so predictable of me, but just a hard launch into some good habits. I'm a very competitive person by nature. So if I set myself a challenge, and I think Nick might do it with me, we can like hold each other accountable. I love a challenge. And also start therapy this year. As I said, I have a lot to unpack, just a lot of like childhood trauma, and a lot of it I have honestly suppressed. Like, there is so much within, like I can actually like almost physically feel it. Like, there's so much that I've suppressed and blocked out. Even Nick was mentioning something the other day, something that happened when he was around, and I literally have no recollection of it. I'm like, oh, that's kind of scary. I'm not gonna go into my financial goals. I'll save those for my financial reset video, but we have some really fun ones, some big ones on there. And then for my career goals, which I know some people think social media isn't a real job, it is in fact a real job, and I'm here to say It is. It's not a hard job, but it is a job. It's actually the first year that I haven't separated my career goals from my social media goals, because this is the first time ever that my career has been social media, which is so cool. I also used to never set career goals because I was like, oh, I'm not a career oriented person, but like now I am. Maybe I was just in the wrong career. Now I have career goals. So first one is, this one's kind of random and just kind of came to me, but I've been thinking about it for a while. I would love to go on a podcast. I don't know whose podcast or like what kind of podcast, but like I would love to be a guest on a podcast. I just feel like that would be a fun experience. Also in 2025, I want to attend more influencer and creator events. I think I went to maybe 3 or 4 this year. Obviously being from Adelaide, not much happens here. There's not much of a creator social media scene, unfortunately. So anytime I've gone, it's been like interstate, which requires logistics. Every time I've gone to an event or met other creators, I've just come away feeling so inspired and so motivated. And it's just nice. It's nice to meet other people in this space. So I would love to go to more events because I don't have co-workers anymore and I miss my co-workers. And then I've set some numerical goals, which I kind of go back and forth on. I do like them because I think it's a good way to measure consistency and growth, but when it comes to social media, the algorithm is going to algorithm however it wants. The only thing I have control over is consistency and just showing up as myself, like the most authentic version of myself. And if people are going to subscribe, they're going to subscribe, and if they don't, they don't. But if you want to, I would love to hit 75,000 subscribers on YouTube. Also want to hit 100,000 followers on Instagram, which I never thought I would say, but we're like not that far off. Instagram is become my biggest platform, which who would have thought? I've also set a goal for TikTok, 75,000 followers on TikTok. I don't really pay attention to TikTok followers, if I'm being honest. I just like post whatever I want to post, and who knows what the social media landscape's going to look like in the next 12 months. Next goal is more yapping, less editing. Hopefully this video is a good representation of that. I really want to lean into just like the real authentic moments, cutting out less stuff, which might sound kind of backwards. I love how like fast-paced, authentic my vlogs can be. Like I like to keep in the authentic real moments, but I also do cut out a lot of stuff. I can sometimes get in my head about things and end up cutting out a lot of that yapping, which is like my favorite kind of vlog to watch, is just someone sitting there chatting. Like, give it to me. So yeah, more yapping, less editing. And last goal is to go on another brand trip. Again, have no control over this, but would be really cool. And then I have a couple of home goals. I feel like I had a lot more, but my mind's gone blank. I'm sure we'll add to this. But I want to fit out our wardrobes. If you're new here, we moved into this house. It'll be 2 years in May, which is crazy. So like a year and a half ago, all of the wardrobes just came with a rod, no shelving or drawers. I feel like it will change my life really. And also more artwork. I was looking at the house the other day. I was like, anyone could live here. Honestly, there's not one single photo of us. We have some nice artwork. Like I'm really happy with these prints, the prints in our dining room. And I'm sure when we get some shelves in the living room, we'll have some photos to put up. More artwork, more pictures of us, so it doesn't just look like a display home. I don't want to live in a house that could be anyone's. I need to mark my territory. Now with my vision board, all I do is use Canva. Now I've made one for a few years and I found a layout that works for me with my images. All I do is drag and drop and like replace the image, which is super handy. I do kind of move things around and like make it work and make it look good because that's important to me. I want to look at something that makes sense for me and my goals and like inspires me, but also is like pretty to look at. And all I do is look on Pinterest. Pinterest is the best for getting images, and I just consistently refer back to my goals that I've set. For example, read 25 books. What do I want a photo of? Reading. So I'll type in reading, and if I don't immediately find photos I like, I'll write aesthetic after it, which might feel a little shallow, but it will come up with like aesthetic good images. After I make my vision board for my desktop, I'll then go and make a version for my phone. I'll just like copy and paste the images and again kind of fit them to work. It does take a bit of trial and error, but once you've made one, the next year you go to make one, you just drop and drag the images. Now I want to quickly break down some of my yearly goals into daily habits. As I said, going into 2025, I'm really focusing on that small daily progress that will help me achieve my overall goals. In January, I want to complete the 75 soft challenge. So I've already added a couple. So we've got daily greens and vitamins, which is like part of the challenge. I've kind of tweaked it to suit me, and maybe I'll share this on my Instagram and keep you guys up to date with my progress. 3 liters of water. I just feel better when I drink 3 liters of water. 10,000 steps and movement. I want to get a little bit more specific with this. So I'm going to say 45 minutes of movement. Now, some days this will be a walk that kind of ties in with getting my 10,000 steps. Some days it might be a Pilates class or going to the gym, whatever that 45 minutes of movement looks like. 10 pages of reading. This habit will also help me reach my annual goal of reading 25 books. That's going to get me closer to that one, so that's a good one, as well as being part of the 75 self challenge. Also, going back to my yearly goals, I wanted to try and keep my screen time under 3 hours a day. So one of the daily habits I'm going to implement in January is not touching my phone until 9 a.m. So I'm going to add that to my daily habits. One tool that I've been loving is ChatGPT. So putting in my yearly goals, I'm going to take all of these and put it into ChatGPT and say, give me daily habits that I can implement to achieve these yearly goals. Let's see if that works. That's a great list of goals. So read 25 books, broken down into a daily habit. Read for 30 minutes to an hour. Keep screen time under 3 hours. Schedule no phone blocks. What's it gonna say for have a baby? Track your fertility. Maintain a healthy lifestyle. Consider daily practices for relaxation to create a healthy environment for conception. Beautiful. Limit your news consumption. Follow positive accounts on social media, and you can kind of play around with it. I also saw Beck Stewart, if you guys follow her on Instagram, she did such a cool Instagram reel about creating like almost like a manifestation piece of your ideal morning routine. So like the ideal version of you, your dream job, your dream career, your dream house, your dream relationships, like what a morning in your life would look like. I did that, and that was so powerful. So ChatGPT might be your best friend. Anyway, I'm going to end off this video here, but thank you guys so much for resetting with me for 2025 and joining me for my favorite video of the year. Definitely stay tuned for my financial reset. We're going to go over my yearly spending, my yearly income, and also set up our budget for the new year. I'll have a link down below to the goal and habit tracker I'm using from Code Plenty. My discount code does also work for that one, along with the budget spreadsheet that I use. I use the yearly 2.0 if anyone's wondering. So I'm going to be setting that up in the next coming days. We'll do that together, which will be fun. And yeah, I'm feeling so excited. I'm feeling so hopeful for 2025. Like I said, 2024, one of the best years of my life. We had the highest of highs, the lowest of lows, but overall, I could not be more grateful and could not be more grateful for all of you guys watching. So yeah, I hope you guys have a fantastic start to the new year. I would love to know some of your goals for 2025. Leave them in the comments down below. We can hold each other accountable. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you very, very soon for another video. Bye guys.